What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, boy, do we have a topic to tackle for you guys today. Microsoft obviously acquiring Bethesda, looking to acquire. I mean, technically, they haven't locked it down. They just, it's pretty much in motion. It'll be finished at the very, very latest by June 30th, 2021. So there's a couple things to talk about here. One, the importance of it all to Microsoft, to the gaming industry. Are these things going to be exclusive? And anything else that comes to my mind, honestly, as I'm talking about these. So, look, here's the first thing I should say. And I know because a lot of people probably come to this channel, I'm more PlayStation-oriented, but I do have an Xbox. Okay, I have an Xbox One. I'm excited for the Series S, for the Series X. And so, I'm not going to be, oh my God, I'm just going to be a Sony fanboy. I've never been that way. I call them out when they do something bad, and I'll applaud them when they do something good. But here's what I'll say. Many people attack Sony whenever they make something exclusive. For Microsoft, there's pretty much two very simple things you can say. One, this is enormous. This is massive. Congrats to Microsoft. Congrats to anybody who's a Xbox owner. Again, including even myself. It sucks for PlayStation. It absolutely does. Maybe we'll talk about that actually in a few minutes. I guess it could suck for exclusively PlayStation players. But if you have an Xbox like me, if you're getting a Series S or Series X, now I'm still not getting one day one. No matter how you look, and by the way, I've said this even for PlayStation 5. No matter how you look at it, there are not that many reasons to get either of these consoles day one. Now I am getting a PS5. I'm kind of even questioning myself on that, but again, by, I would say, next summer, 2021 summer, I will have one of the series, either an S or an X, for Halo, for anything else that comes out in 2021 and the future. So it's not like I'm just getting PlayStation. I'm saying goodbye Xbox. I was always going to get one of the series, and now and honestly, for sure I am now. Bethesda doesn't mean all that much to me. For Fallout, New Vegas has always been my favorite. Now they have Obsidian, so technically they already had that in the bag if they were going to make future ones. Bethesda's last several with 4 and 70. And by the way, I'm not attacking. I'm not saying Microsoft acquired complete garbage. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, Fallout doesn't mean all that much to me. Elder Scrolls, that does. Doom, that does. So, it's very up and down. Prey, I don't really care all that much about. Wolfenstein, very up and down franchise. That latest DLC, Youngblood, that was pretty terrible. But no matter how you cut it, it's a lot of money. It's a ton of money. It's more money than any of us will ever get by even putting all our funds combined. But it's massive because this is a thing that's, it's actually game changing because there's been big purchases before. Even when Sony acquired Insomniac, it was man, that is a top tier studio. Well, Microsoft just acquired a lot, 8 different, they acquired a lot of different franchises from a lot of different studios in Bethesda and more. It is insane that this is that this happened. Now, obviously, this was not by accident. Rumor has it they were doing this somewhat to supplement the basically Halo Infinite not coming out for a little while. But also, this is an amazing announcement to do literally the day before your console goes on pre-order. Now, again, will this even impact this fall? No. Will it even impact the first half of 2021? No. In fact, the other game, like Deathloop, Ghostwire Tokyo, all those are still actually exclusive to PlayStation. So we'll talk about that in a second. But again, to kind of sum up my feelings, I am excited. I'm very happy for Xbox. Just like, honestly, I've said, when Sony bought Insomniac, I was excited for Sony. So I will say the exact same thing for Microsoft. Good job. This is a winning strategy. There's no doubt about it. This helps them out enormously. Because when you say, well, Xbox doesn't have games, if you say that, okay, Xbox doesn't have studios, they don't have games that come out frequently enough. Well, now they just have a lot of games, right? If you just think about each of these games, if they each get a sequel, that's a lot of games possibly only on the Xbox. So that's good. Negative is, well, it's an exclusive. And if people are going to attack Sony for that, I think it's more than fair to say the same thing for Microsoft. It's becoming a monopoly, honestly, for both these companies. It's only a matter of time until it really is. It kind of already is. And that is, I have seen that being said around where it is kind of sad because you're seeing these, and again, Sony does it too. I'm not saying Sony doesn't do it. But you see, this is a major acquisition. And, eventually, so Square Enix, EA, Ubisoft. I mean, there's a Take-Two. There's a couple other ones, but when you get through like maybe the next 5 or 6, then pretty much it becomes like an independent studio. And I just we got to be watchful of monopolies happening. It's already happening where a few of these studios are now, or companies are acquiring all these other companies and becoming one large one. So you do have to keep that in mind. Is that the main focus here? No. Again, positive is this is enormous. This is massively exciting. Negative is, well, again, flat out, this is an exclusive, potentially an exclusive. Now, here's the deal. Like I said in the beginning, for those that don't know, Ghostwire Tokyo and also Deathloop were going to be exclusive to PlayStation for a limited time, whether it was going to be 6 months, whether it's going to be a year. They were going to be exclusives. They still are. Microsoft is going to, say that's fine. They're going to commit to that, and that's honestly honorable. Is that the right word? I mean that. Now you could say, well, is that really honorable, or there's just contracts, binding legal contracts that said, well, they were going to do this. You can't just stop doing it because the company switches over. So PlayStation will still get those games exclusively. Now the biggest thing is this: will these games actually be exclusive to Xbox? Because the biggest thing Xbox pushed, even in their press release, even in all the stuff they're saying, is that this bolsters Xbox Game Pass, where all of these games are going to be. So the next Elder Scrolls, the Starfield, the next Fallout, all these games will be on Game Pass day one. Now, I, for the life of me, don't understand how Microsoft makes money on all this stuff, considering they buy these studios for billions. They have them be running in the background for also billions. The games cost a lot of money to be made, and then they come out and they put it on a subscription service that, in all honesty, makes them $500 to $600 million a year, which is an insane amount of money. But when you just spent $7.5 billion to acquire these studios, and then their games, and then you also have to think about a couple extra billion to get those games out. And then when the game comes out, you put it on a subscription service. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's an amazing, as everybody says, it's an amazing value for gamers. I just, for the life of me, and I'm not a economist, I don't know, but I really have no clue how they make money from this, because it seems like they lose billions and they make millions. And I just don't know how that evens out. But you know what? Microsoft obviously has it figured out. But yeah, so are these games actually going to be Xbox exclusive? Well, it seems like they're doing the same thing they did with Minecraft, where they buy them, but then the main talk around it is, well, two things. One, very pushing on the whole Game Pass thing. And secondly, very non-committal to saying that these are only going to be on Xbox. And you know what? Again, you can be a Sony fanboy, you can be a Microsoft or an Xbox fanboy, but I do, this is, again, honorable. This is something that's very consumer-friendly. If they're buying... Now, again, why does it make sense? It doesn't really make sense. In fact, I even see people that are on Xbox's side, asking, I don't get why you would do this. If they're going to buy for $7.5 billion all these studios, and then the games will still come out on PlayStation, whether it be... Now, we'll have to see. Will every game be an Xbox exclusive for the first 6 months, and then they come to PlayStation? Will they launch same day on both? But obviously, PlayStation, you'll have to pay. Xbox Game Pass, you have Game Pass, you'll be able to play the game day one. If that's the way they do it, then, I mean... by all means, go ahead. You know what I mean? It's odd. It's odd in that way, because that is, I guess, so consumer friendly, where it's you give your main audience, the Xbox gamers, the deal of their lifetime with Game Pass with all these games on it. And then if you're not on Xbox, if you're, say, PlayStation, you'll still get the game day one. You just have to pay for it, which, is what you've normally done for your entire life. So we'll have to see. They're not really saying... I think the closest that I found, and now I'm recording this very, close to when you guys are watching this, so the closest that I found so far, and we'll have to keep our eyes out over the next couple days, is that it's a game-by-game basis. That Ghostwire and Deathloop will be, PlayStation exclusive the same way it was going to be, and then, obviously will come to Xbox, and the rest of the games, they will be a game-by-game basis. So who knows? Maybe Elder Scrolls is just on Xbox, but then Fallout will be on both, or Wolfenstein will be on. But you'll have to. It's easy to say maybe the smaller games will be on both, and the bigger, will Starfield, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and Doom only be on Xbox. Meanwhile, any other game that probably doesn't sell, I mean, Prey was good. It was a good game, but did it sell all that much? No, it did not. Wolfenstein, is it a good game? Yeah. Okay, most of them are actually really good games, but are they selling like a bazillion copies? No. So, I mean, it's easy to say, well, maybe Microsoft will just have the biggest games on their system and then have the smaller games on both. They could do that. Honestly, financially, money-wise, it would make more sense to do the opposite because it probably takes, I mean, actually, no, this is not probably, this is factually. It is going to cost a lot of money to develop the next Fallout, the next Elder Scrolls, all these games. Going to cost probably $300, $400, $500, $600 million to make some of these games. To then put them on your Game Pass that you make maybe $600, $700, $800 million max on a year, you're not actually making, in fact, you're losing a lot of money. So those may be the games that they decide to do on both, and then a Wolfenstein or, again, a smaller-ish game, and again, they're not small, but smaller-ish games, they may say, okay, doesn't cost as much to develop, we can take the hit by only having it on Xbox. We don't need it to be on other consoles because we don't really need to make the money back. But, again, games like Fallout, games like Elder Scrolls, they need to sell. Trust me, they need to sell several tens of millions of those games to make their money back. They factually will not do that with Game Pass. I mean, they're just not going to make enough money there, especially when it has to support all of your first-party studios, not just those. So I'm trying to wrap my head around how Microsoft's internal finances work. It's not working because I just truly don't get it, but big day in gaming, not the way I expected to wake up this Monday morning. But guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Does this win over Xbox? Do you think that Xbox wins now? Because I don't. I don't think that it means it wins. I think that it just kind of makes it more competitive, where you probably honestly need to have both. You need to have a PlayStation, you need to have an Xbox, or you need to have a PC and you need to have a PlayStation. I truly do believe, not being a Sony fanboy, but I think you need a PlayStation for those exclusives. After that, to play anything else, you probably could just have, again, an Xbox or a PC, and you will be covered completely. Switch is different. I think everybody needs a Switch as well. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, have the bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. And depending on how a video like this does, both views and likes to dislikes, I will definitely consider making more videos like this, maybe talking a little bit more about it as the days go on, okay? Let me know if you guys want that in the comments. Thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.